Avengers Assemble! Yes, guys, are we putting together the Avengers at Glasgow Rangers? Is that what we're doing? Are we assembling the Avengers? It seems that way. Certainly seems that way. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. I'm Owen James, and this is all your latest Rangers news, guys. Your Rangers fan channel. Your channel that brings you all your, obviously, part of the family. You're part of this Glasgow Rangers family. And as we celebrated on our community post yesterday, 3.5 million views to the channel. Absolutely phenomenal. Blown away by that phenomenal number views. It's just unbelievable, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. Thank you for your unbelievable support. Yes, there are people that come on the channel, and there's people on different elements of social media that do everything they can to troll, to be as nasty and as horrible as possible, who've obviously very sad little people with nothing else in their lives other than trying to make other people's lives a misery because they're just utterly pathetic little losers. But look, look on the positive of this. The views, the subs are climbing daily. We're growing as a channel. We're growing to be one of the biggest channels out there, bringing you all the daily news, bringing you all the latest news, bringing you news, opinion, and not afraid to say it how it is. And we're not going to change. We're not going to change that. And look, as you know, one of my heroes, one of my role models, Mr. Mark Goldbridge. That's what he does. That's what I'm going to continue to do as well. And, look, I think it's been a really difficult year. I found it unbelievably difficult year. Obviously, I lost my mum on the 7th of May to cancer. Absolutely tragic. It's been horrible. But, your support, your views, you being there has really helped. So thank you so much for everything. 3.5 million views. Phenomenal, guys. Phenomenal. Right, we're going to talk League Cup last 16. Draw has been made. We're going to talk the Antman. That's why we've got Marvel. I've got to say, I love a bit of Marvel. Love a bit of Marvel. I'm not talking about the milk or the tea or the coffee replacement, whatever that crap is. It powdered milk, is it? Maybe? Not about that. We're talking about, obviously, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, obviously, the Iron Man, Captain America. Love Marvel. Fantastic. I always go to the cinema with my daughters to watch that. They watch the films when they come out. They're massive, massive Marvel fans. But we're going to talk Ant-Man, not the film, the player. But let's start off with the League Cup last 16. It was made on Sunday. Rangers have been drawn at home to Alloa Athletic. At Ibrox, obviously tricky for Glasgow Police with the fact that both Rangers and Celtic have been drawn at home. I guess, you know what, it's going to be one day, one the next day. That's how it's going to be. Simples, I suppose. There we go. As for Alloa Athletic obviously are a Scottish League One team. Hopefully not going to be too much of a test, although we said that last, when we lost in the Scottish Cup last season, didn't we? But you've got to hope that they're not going to be too much of a test for Rangers. They've done well to get this far in the tournament. They beat Adrians 3-2 on Sunday to progress. They even beat Dundee 1-0. I mean, let's face it, Dundee are deep in the doggy do under new manager Stephen Presley. Lots of Dundee fans exceptionally unimpressed with Stephen Presley as manager. And Alloa have got one of the best games ever coming up on the 2nd of August. Yes, they're playing Stenhousemuir. Gosh, I love that name, Stenhousemuir. It's up there with Clathmacladden or something like that. Anyway, so Rangers versus Alloa. Like I said, you've got to fancy us to get through with the new squad, with the new manager and everything going for us. Obviously, as well, Celtic Falkirk. Celtic will play against newly promoted Premier League side Falkirk. Hopefully Scotty Arfield gets a couple of goals, knocks them out. Kilmarnock, Dundee United, all SPL tie. Livingston Hibs, now an all SPL tie. St Johnstone Motherwell. Greenock Morton versus Aberdeen. Partick Thistle versus Ayr United. That's kind of the weakest tie of the round. And the last one, St Mirren versus Hearts. I'm not going to call them Heart of Midlothian. Hearts. Just sounds a bit weird. But there you go, guys. Obviously, give me your projections. I think that's a game we've got to win. Obviously, progress then and progress on. It's obviously I think that'll be a chance to really give some of the younger players an opportunity, give some of the squad players an opportunity. Ties with the 16th or the 17th of August, so it's going to be a good chance for Russell Martin to give some of his squad players a run out and some of the younger players a run out in that game. I honestly believe. Right, let's talk about the Ant-Man. Not the film, guys. We're not going to talk about that. Was a wicked film. I must remember. It was a wicked film. We're going to talk about Ant-Man. Now, Rangers were believed to be interested in the Crystal Palace winger, Jezrun Raki-Sakai, or Raki-Sakan, whatever, however you pronounce that name. It's a very hard second name to pronounce. He's injured, obviously out. Rangers obviously had an initial loan bid with an option to buy, turned down. The option to buy would have been around £10 million, which obviously is an awful lot of money to pay for a player. Now, it's believed that in terms of that player, Raki-Sakai, he was a player that Russell Martin really liked. He was a player that Russell Martin tried to get when he was at Southampton. So looking at his tape, looking at his reports, he is obviously a very, very talented young player. Obviously Rangers not going to get him. And it was David Ornstein, obviously, who brought that news out. David Ornstein, who is very trustworthy on this. He's one of those people that when he speaks, you listen. He doesn't tend to get things wrong. Obviously, David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, Sasha Tovaglieri, Fabian Plettenberg, the gurus of the transfer, the guys to listen to. But yeah, looks like that one's fallen through. Now, it appears that Rangers have now moved on. And it appears that a winger is still very much on their priority list going into this, continuing through this transfer window. And I think, there's still players to come in. I think we heard Russell Martin say as much, didn't we? When he talked about the fact that the team that starts the league will look very different to this team. So there will obviously be players arriving. Now, the player that's been mentioned, which I think is a fantastic name. He is 23 years old. He is from Vantaa in Finland. He's over 6 foot. He's a right winger. He's a right-footed right winger. My God, revolutionary, guys. Someone playing on the right side. Right-footed on the right side. Goes at players, goes outside them, whips the ball into the box for the set. Wow. Revolution, guys. Revolution. But yeah, definitely, obviously that's great. Currently with the amazingly named Go Ahead Eagles. I always thought Go Ahead was a slimming range of biscuits, but apparently not. The Go Ahead Eagles. Not that it's saying for you to eat eagles. His player agent, I've got to say, I do like this guy's name, Tim Pole. I've got 1,000 jokes in my head, but I'm not going to do any of them. He's under contract to Go Ahead Eagles until June the 30th, 2027, with the club having a further option for 1 year. So, look, it ain't cheap. It's not going to be a cheap deal. It's not going to be an easy deal to do, obviously, on that aspect. But it's thought to be around about 6 million. That's what it's thought to be, around about 6 million pounds. So, a decent amount of money for the player. A few stats and facts around Mr. Antman. So he's played for a number of teams. Norgesland, name rings a bell, doesn't it? I'm sure that's where Dio was, wasn't it? Norgesland, yes. Anyway, that's where he started. He's been with the Go Ahead Eagles in Holland just this last season. Norgesland under 19s. He's been with FC Groningen as well during his time. Obviously there, he's played for FCN Reserve, which obviously is Norgesland, and he's played for Gnistan, which is just an amazing name for a team. But if you look at some of his stats there, obviously Norgesland, 110 appearances, 16 goals, 7 assists. You go back to his time with the Go Ahead Eagles, where he's currently 36 appearances for the Go Ahead Eagles, scored 6 goals in 36 games. However, the number that really stands out for him, helping the Go Ahead Eagles to finish 7th in the Eredivisie, which is an amazing result for a team that obviously wasn't highly fancied. 16 assists. That's an excellent number for the Go Ahead Eagles. 16 assists. Norgesland under 19s, 20 appearances and a goal. Groningen, 11 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. The FCN Reserve, the Norgesland Reserves, 8 appearances, 2 goals. And with IF Afghanistan, 7 appearances and 1 goal. He's been a player who has certainly impressed in his time with the Go Ahead Eagles. He even managed to help the Go Ahead Eagles win the KNVB Cup final. In the semi-final, they beat PSV Eindhoven 2-1. That was a cup shock. That's up there in terms of cup shocks. He played in that game on the right wing for the Go Ahead Eagles. He then played in the final against AZ Alkmaar. Go Ahead Eagles coming out on top in that, winning 4-2 on penalties. Again, he played in that game. So, you know, unprecedented. You know, the Go Ahead Eagles are not a team that have a reputation for winning trophies in Holland. You know, so to win a cup competition with them is excellent, absolutely fantastic, and you know, real sort of credit to him. That he was part of that squad, that he helped participate, that he helped contribute to that. You know, absolutely fantastic. And you know, they have in the past won the Eredivisie, but the last time they won the Eredivisie was 32-33. This is their first major trophy since 1932-1933, and he was part of that squad. So phenomenal success for Mr. Antman. Again, this is a winger. Like I said, it does appear very much that a winger is very much on Rangers' radar, and they do want to bring in a further winger to add to this squad. And I think there's a real feel within the squad, within the team, the management team, within the recruitment team, that's an area of weakness. That's something we need to work on. You know, we have Cortez, we have Gassama, obviously. You know, at this moment in time, we've had Kieran Dowell play out there. I think we're the best will in the world to Kieran. He's not a winger. He hasn't got the pace to go around people, you know, that you need from a winger. McCausland appears to be on his way out of the club, so I don't think he's a long-term option. Nadim Bayrami, you know, the manager doesn't seem to want to use him out wide, which is probably best because he's not a wide man. He's a 10. You know, Hjefte can be pushed up to play left wing, but again, that doesn't seem to be something the manager wants to do because he doesn't seem to really fancy Hjefte as a player. So, look, the options are in that wide area are very thin on the ground, you know, and I think that is something that he does want to look at. He doesn't really want to play a striker out there, so winger is definitely something he wants. Now, in terms of Mr. Antman, and his strengths, his weaknesses, etc., etc. So what is he known for? What is Oliver Antman known for? Well, he's known for pace, creativity, and the ability to link up play between the midfield and the attack. He is very much a valuable asset for creating chances, as we've seen. But he's fast. Is creative. I mean, that is some of the things that obviously we are kind of crying out for since obviously we lost Václav Černý. And obviously the season before that, we lost Abdallah Sima. This is a quick, speedy, attacking player. Certainly the sort of player that we would want at the club. And I think we would certainly encourage the recruitment team that, you know, if this is true, to really push through with this one. So one of his strengths, he's a creative playmaker. He excels at creating chances for his teammates with his passing, his crossing and his vision. He's fast. His speed allows him to get in behind defences and cause problems for opponents. Again, something that will be valuable against that low block and getting round and then getting away and getting the ball into the box. He effectively connects forwards and attacking midfielders, facilitating smooth attacking transitions, something that obviously is big within the Russell Martin agenda, that quick, fast transition from defence to attack, then to midfield to attack, to get forward. So something, you know, that Antman can bring. He's a consistent goal scorer and provider, as evidenced by his 20 goal contributions in 28 games. That was obviously in the Eredivisie. And he can play on either wing or as an attacking midfielder. So again, he's a flexible player. He's something that, you know, he's a player that very much can be used in a number of different positions. Something that, you know, that is very good for modern players, and managers certainly look for it in that modern player. One of his weaknesses, though, defensively, he's not great. So he does need to work on that element. He's not great in the air. That's something else he needs to work on. He is obviously going to cost money. 6 million, 7 million pounds, which is obviously a bit, you know, whether we can obviously get that money together, which I do believe we can for the right player, given the fact that obviously Jezron Naraki Sakai was still on that shopping list. I mean, listening to that and looking at that, he looks a good footballer. He sounds a good footballer, and he's done it in the Eredivisie. Now, I know you worry. I know you're concerned. Sam Lammers, you're quoting Sam Lammers at me. You're quoting Robin Proper at me. Okay, fair enough. I get that. But look, you know, like with the English Championship, we've had some of you had your doubts over some of those Championship players, but they've come in and done. Joe Rothwell, for example, done really well. Gassama, done well. So I think, you know, we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He is a player that is attracting attention not only from Rangers, but from a number of English Championship clubs as well. So he does look like a player that is very much in demand. Guys, I do like the look of Antman. He looks quality. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Well, thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. As always, on the way out, if you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.